Hello, 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 all you beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome into the Fab Fam house. This a wonderful Wednesday evening. I'm glad to have each and every one of you in here coming along with me in my kitchen tonight as we cook up some lasagna. Hello, Mick. I hope you've had a wonderful Wednesday. Hey, Hellbound, let's go. Yes, 1174 is on this channel also. Apparently, they like everyone's channel on Twitch, and they're hanging out in here too. Hello, Frank. Happy Wednesday, Frank. I hope you're doing excellent, sir. Glad to have you guys in here. So, we are going to make some lasagna. We did have Commander Root also hellbound, but Jeffro banned Commander Root, and he asked to be unbanned so he could get stats on our channel. But he's been long gone for a year now, so rest in peace, Commander Root. So welcome in, guys. Yes, Frank. You need to private message me and Hellbound your address, Frank. An address where we can send you something. You can just whisper it to Hellbound or me, and that would be excellent if you don't mind doing that. We would really like that. And also, Frank, if you don't have Steam downloaded on your console, or your PC, and not your console, your PC like me. On your PC, if you don't mind downloading it and setting up an account, it's free. I was thinking that we might could play some fun games together. Um, I have Uno and Hellbound might get some stuff, and we thought it'd be fun on the weekend to maybe play some games with you if you wanted to. I think it would be kind of fun because I enjoy playing that stuff and don't have enough people to play with. So, um, yeah, if you're here and heard all that. So, anyways, guys, welcome in and let's get cooking some lasagna. So, as you guys know, my mom was Italian, and everybody's been hackling me for my mother's lasagna recipe. I just want to go on and tell you guys up front this is not my mom's lasagna recipe. That is something that was always a family secret, and I would like to keep it that way. But this is a wonderful lasagna recipe that I want to try. I've never made it before, but I've heard really good things about it. Uh, and so I'm going to try this recipe so you guys could have a lasagna recipe. So this is my first time making this. So here's all my ingredients. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome to the Fab Fam. Welcome in. We are glad to have both of you in the Fab Fam stream. Welcome in. All right. Make yourself at home. Thank you for another follow. Let's go. Welcome in. Welcome into the Fab Fam house. We are making lasagna tonight. So, guys, these are all our ingredients. And I have some ground beef. I'll show you guys over here in the skillet browning up. And I have a package. You need a pound of sausage. And I prefer to use Italian sausage. It has a lot better flavor in it for your lasagna. So I bought a pack of Italian sausage. If you have a Sam's Club, ironically enough, this is a really cool place to get this Italian sausage, and it tastes really good and has good flavor. So I do have that. And also a trick I want to show you guys before we start making our lasagna is the lasagna noodles. This is awesome. The worst thing about lasagna growing up in an Italian household that I hated was cooking my lasagna noodles, okay? Because you have to spread them out a certain way, cook them a certain way, and cool them a certain way so they don't rip and tear. So these are non-boiling lasagna noodles. They are the best invention ever. I've used them for the last several years. A couple of brands make them. I like this brand a lot. They're hard when you get them out. They're going to be hard. But they're already pre-cooked. So when you put them in your pan, all your moisture from all your other ingredients are going to soften them up, and you don't have to do all that boiling. They come in a box in sheets like this. Um, and all you do is you put them in like you would, your boiled noodles. This is the best invention ever. I'm just gonna tell you, those are awesome. Yes, yes, yes. That brand is my favorite. There are other brands that are fine, but these are really good. I think they have a good taste. It is actually lasagna noodles. They're kind of dried up actually. They're they are real lasagna noodles. You know what I thought they were like when I got them was actual lasagna noodles uncooked. And I was like, "Are you sure these are gonna work? Because I don't want disgusting noodles." But once you layer it in between your sauces and your cheeses, and it cooks, I mean, it softens them up. And they're just exactly like the boil kind, but you don't have to boil them. They're wonderful. Oh, lasagna is wonderful. It is. I grew up my mom was Italian, so I grew up with lasagna, and it is one of my favorite Italian dishes is lasagna. It's my husband's favorite too. He does like manicotti a lot, but um, it is just a really good dish. Like I said, it's one of my faves. So we're gonna get started on this. All right, guys. So let's swap over to my stove over here, okay? Right here in this pot, I have 2 pounds of ground lean beef cooking, okay? We have 2 pounds of lean ground beef. We are cooking it up right now to put using our lasagna. Now I'm going to open this package of Italian sausage that I showed you guys. And we're going to add it to this. And it is mild ground Italian sausage. You can get the hot if you want your lasagna to be hot. I just don't prefer it. I don't mind some hot things, but I feel like it takes away from the taste of my lasagna. So I just get the mild. So let me see if I can get this stinking thing open. There's actually a little more than a pound of sausage in here. So I'm going to just add the pound. If I can get it off the paper it goes on. There we go. And you're going to mix this in with your ground beef, okay? Pizza with pineapple? Yeah, pizza with pineapple's good. Actually made pizza on stream one night, homemade pizza. I put pineapple on it. It was a Hawaiian pizza I did. All right, let me grind up this sausage here. So do you like lasagna then if you get grandma to make it, Hellbound? All right, let's let this cook for just a minute. Hey, Brian, good to have you in, buddy. I hope you're feeling better today. Did they have you in rehab yet? Oh, yes, I agree, Hellbound. Anything grandma makes, oh my gosh. Holy moly. Grandma's pies and cookies are the best too, Hellbound. Oh my gosh. At least my grandma was, man. Oh my goodness gracious. She used to make me this strawberry cake for my birthday every year. It was my favorite thing. And I really miss it on my birthday. Sorry, guys. I was getting a text from my sister. Her little dog is sick, and she's had him a long time. And she was just texting me. Um, he is something going on with him, and she's upset a little bit. So sorry about that. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine being in rehab, Brian. I remember when my grandma had to go to rehab after her surgery. That place, I don't know if the rehab there in New Jersey is like it is here, but it was the most annoying thing ever. And I hated that she had to be in there. She hated it. Your grandma? Are you being a smart aleck, Puff? Your grandma can't cook. She makes the best Keebler cookies that she buys in the store, Puff. Oh my gosh, Brian. Nothing for 3 weeks. Holy. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. And then you get to start eating nasty freaking hospital food. That's the worst. That's when you want to call Uber. All right. So I'm going to let this cook. And we're going to start doing a little bit of sauteing here. All right. So let's see here. We're going to let me see here because this is a new recipe to me. Uh, we're going to put our oil in the skillet over here. I'm going to turn, I have a, just like a little skillet right here, guys. And I have it on this unit over here, and I'm going to turn it on a little bit of a low medium heat, and I'm going to put some of my olive oil in it, okay? No, lasagna is not cooked with sardines. Lasagna is an Italian dish. Lasagna does not have sardines in it. Oh my gosh, 75 pounds, Brian? That's kind of a little much weight for 3 weeks. Wow. No, lasagna has an Italian sausage and a ground beef in it. Now, there is something cool about this lasagna recipe. This lasagna recipe is a different kind of traditional lasagna from Italy, but it does not have cottage cheese or ricotta in it. My recipe that I make, which I'm not doing on stream, it was my mom's, but it has cottage cheese and ricotta in it. But this recipe doesn't. I'm actually going to do a recipe without ricotta because I've had requests, lots of requests for it, because a lot of people say they cannot eat ricotta because ricotta, um, it has it upsets a lot of people's stomach because ricotta cheese is very, very rich. So some people are like, "Oh, Game Mama, is there a different way we can make this without the ricotta?" So we're gonna do a white sauce, or better known as a bechamel sauce, to replace our ricotta. Okay. No, lasagna that I've ever seen in my lifetime as an Italian does not have fish in it. It is only Italian sausage and ground beef mixed together. That's the only way I've seen it. The only other way I have seen it is vegetarian. And it smells wonderful. Italian sausage and beef with all the seasonings we're going to add smell delicious. I actually like it a lot. Like I said, it's one of my faves. Um, so over here in this little skillet, I have my oil, which is starting to heat up a little bit. Oh, fish with cheese? Yeah, I'm not a huge fish person, so I don't really like the smell of fish. The only fish I will eat is like a saltwater fish, like cod and stuff like that. But I'm not a huge fish eater. Hey, Forrest, how's it going, dear? Happy Wednesday. So in this oil, I'm going to put. I have some carrots that we've measured out. It's a whole carrot, and you kind of shred it up real finely. And we're going to saute it up in our oil. So I'm going to go in and dump that in the oil over here, okay? And then you're hungry. I make you hungry every cooking stream, Forest. We're going to jump over here, okay? And we have an onion. And I'm going to cut this onion up and we're going to add it to our carrots over here in this oil, okay? So let me cut this up on my cutting board here. We're just going to finely chop this up. And hopefully our meats will finish cooking here in a minute because we're going to start combining everything. All right. I'm going to have to make me another cutting board. This is the one I use for my vegetables and stuff. My huge one is for my meats. And I need to make me a little bit bigger one for my vegetables because I do a lot of chopping. So I'm probably going to make me another one. And just use this as a little tiny small thing, like cutting up a tomato or a cucumber or something. I've got to have room for my chopping. This is falling off. This onion is a little strong. Glad y'all can't see my eyes. You'd think I was crying. I actually am crying. Crying because Frank hasn't whispered me his address yet. It's making me cry. All right, that's probably good. Oh, let me get that big old piece chopped up. Okay. Actually, Jeffro is in his office. Jeffro's had a migraine since Friday. He has not had a good weekend or week. He has not felt well at all. He has actually felt the worst of his life lately. Actually, Frank, I make the cutting boards. Jeffro doesn't. I actually make these in our shop. I used to sell cutting boards, Frank. I don't know if I told you that or not, but I used to go to craft shows and sell cutting boards, so I actually made all my cutting boards. Okay, let's go back over here to our stove, where our carrots are, and I'm going to add in my onions, okay? I hope Grant's feeling a little better today. He was feeling a little better last night. He just told me his stomach won't quit hurting. He hadn't even, his stomach's hurting, Frank, if he hadn't ate my cookies yet. He said he has them in the fridge. I mailed in some ginger snaps and oatmeal raisin cookies, and they're in the refrigerator in in the zip bag I sent them in. He wants to make sure his stomach quits hurting before he eats them, which I don't blame him. He said last night on stream that he thought it was the cheeseburger and cheese sticks he ate at that hamburger joint. Sometimes cheese sticks out, bought out, can be really greasy though. All right. This onion and carrot mixture. It's just chopped up in the skillet like this. We're sauteing it up over here. Turn the heat up a little bit on it. This is almost done. Smells really good. Just got a little bit of pink left in here. And I already preheated our oven to 350 degrees, which is what we're going to have it on to cook this. Oh, Frank, you know what, Frank? We need to become friends on Twitch. Yep, yep, yep. I need to send you a friend request, Frank. Thank you, Hellbound. You're the best. Yep, that's what I think, Brian. You know, I told Grand that I got really sick on some cheese sticks one time, and they were actually from Sonic, Brian. I love Sonic's cheese sticks, and I got terribly sick on them. And I told Grand they tasted weird, like the grease tasted oil in them, Brian. You know what I mean, like in the batter. And oh, Brian, it was terrible. I mean, I was sick for like 4 days. Okay, we're gonna add some garlic to this. I really like it when we start adding our garlic and stuff. I love the fragrant smell that it brings to the dish. Yeah, I know, Frank, and I think it's because I whispered you, but it defaults back like Hellbound was saying. I need to friend you on there because me and Hellbound friended each other, so he can freely whisper me a lot, and I can whisper him back. So I need to friend you, Frank, so that way we can whisper. You're gonna cook these onions and carrots for about 8 to 10 minutes, okay? Because you want them to soften up is what we're trying to do. And now we're going to add in our garlic. And let's see, we need to add 4 cloves of garlic. So let me get my garlic over here. We're going to add 4 cloves. Okay, let me get my little spatulas here. Y'all have got me a set of these little spatulas. They look like this. They're so cute. They're the best thing in the kitchen. They get the smallest of things out. There's 1 clove. Come on, I know you got enough in you to get me a second one out. There you go. I'm gonna have to open the other one. 2nd clove. Now let me open the other container. This one is out. As you guys know, I've shared with you before when I use all this garlic in my kitchen. This is my favorite garlic to use. 3 cloves. And 4 cloves. This is the chunky garlic paste that I like to use that I've showed y'all before. A teaspoon equals a clove. And you don't have to chop it up and all that yourself. If my mom was alive, she'd love this stuff. All right. So let me turn this down a little bit and I'm going to mix this in. With my onions and carrots. This is all cooking in a little bit of olive oil, not much. You don't need a huge lot. You're just really wetting the skillet and sauteing. This is starting to soften up, so they're almost done. Let me turn this down. Let me check on my meat here. Sometimes the sausage is hard to get all ground up and cooked good. Almost done. Oh my gosh, you got some from QVC? Let's go, Brian. I have to get a new blender, Brian. My Ninja blender, I told you about, Brian. It broke. It finally bit the dust. I had to throw it away. The blade and it jammed up. I've had it for like 10 years. But Cilantro's been researching blenders for us, Brian. And I found this blender that you and I think, were chatting when we were in a Discord call one night. I think we were talking about it. It was on QVC, but somewhere else sold it. And I was actually looking at that blender too. So I'm going to have to look that up because it made me think of us that night talking about it. A potato masher? Okay, 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 Brian. All right, guys. So our meat is done. Let me take it over here and rinse it off. I'll be right back. Oh, okay, Brian. That's cool. All right, guys. I brought my meat back over. I went and just rinsed it off with some hot water and drained it because I don't want all the grease in it. Okay. Now I'm going to put all this back in here. And let's see. I'm going to add in my sauteed onions, garlic, and carrots into this now. Okay. Now let me mix this in. You can add more or less onion. About a half of a normal size or large onion is plenty. And then one carrot shredded or chopped finely. That was what was in that saute. I know, rough, right? You know that Brian has to have his QVC. Even if Brian is sick, he has to have QVC. Okay, so now I have this going, y'all, and I'm gonna pour in my passata. Okay, and let's see, you need 24 ounces of passata. Let me show you guys. This is what I get. You can get it at like Publix or whatever. It's in a jar, and it literally says passata on it. Okay, there are other brands. Yeah, Ruff needed a P.O. box a long time ago, Brian. You know I would have done sent him some cheer wine, some peanut butter balls. Like when he gets in his house, he'll be in his man cave and his wife won't know where he is because he's down in the basement eating everything from Game of Mama. So this is 24 ounces of passata. So I'm adding this in to our mixture here. This brand is an Italian passata. he he has to hold himself back, Ruff. I'm gonna have to go in there and order me some apples. I actually went to Nashville, and the candy store in Nashville has the best caramel apples. But she's so hateful, and she was so hateful, so I didn't buy any. I just wanted like a regular one with some chocolate and nuts and stuff on it, and caramel. And she was just very rude to me. I went a couple weeks ago, and I was gonna go in there because she'd been rude to me before, and I thought, nah. Okay, now I'm gonna add my crushed tomatoes. What you need is a 14-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Okay, so I have a can of no salt added crushed tomatoes, and I'm gonna open that with my can opener. Any brand is fine. I just use organic crushed tomatoes, and I like the no salt added because you're gonna put plenty of your own seasoning in this. You don't really need the salt they're gonna give you in a can. So this is a 14-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. So I'm going to add this to it. And then I'm going to put my tomato paste. You need a small jar of tomato paste. A small jar of tomato paste is 6 ounces. So let me open that. It is literally a small jar. It is that big, 6 ounces tomato paste. So let me get my little spatula over here. And I'm going to dip out my tomato paste. Tomato paste is really good. It's more so used for thickening, but it's also to give color to your dish. All right. Got my tomato paste. After 30 minutes. That's a good one, Ruff. And now I'm going to put in my dried herbs, okay? So we're going to add a teaspoon of dried oregano and a teaspoon of basil. You can add a little more if you want. I like a lot of flavor. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon and a half of basil. Actually, there's just crumbs left in that jar. I'll just add it. oregano, teaspoon of oregano, and we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm just going to do about a teaspoon of salt. Don't want too much. We don't like salt in our house, in our dishes that much, but it does give it a little flavor. And I'm going to add just a little bit of pepper. And now I'm going to stir all this together. Lasagna. Hey, Mason. So now we get all this mixed in. Oh my goodness, think I got pepper in my nose. This smells so good, y'all. Thanks, Mason. I love lasagna. So now we're going to put a cover on this and we're going to let this cook for a little bit, like 20 minutes or something. And while we're doing that, shoot, get off there. We're going to make our bechamel sauce, okay? So let's let that simmer. Simmer, simmer, simmer. And then in this pot right here, it's just a little stock pot. If you guys can see, just a little bit of stock pot. I'm going to put it over here. Let me see here. Let me move my camera a little bit. And in this stock pot right here, I'm going to make my bechamel sauce, okay? So what we're going to do is we have 4 tablespoons of butter, which I took a stick butter and I cut off 4 tablespoons, and I'm just going to drop it down in this pot. If I can get it off of the paper. And I'm going to let that start melting. Where is my... Okay, got a little whisk here. So let's let this butter start melting in here. You know what I'm going to do so y'all can see better? Hold on just a minute. I'm going to move these pots around. Give me just a second here. I want y'all to be able to see better. I'm going to move this back there and move this up here. Turn that unit on back here. Let this continue to cook. And let's melt our butter in here. What you do with the cookie, man, y'all, is you do exclamation cookie and then you at somebody. And it gives that person that you at a cookie. So, like, if I do this, cookie, like this, I just give Hellbound a cookie and some milk. All right, butter melting, butter melting. Yes, there you go. Okay, now we're going to take this off the heat for just a second. Okay, so I'm going to scoot it over. And I'm going to add some flour to it, okay? A fourth of a cup of plain all-purpose flour. Make sure you measure it out and flatten the top so it's even. And I'm going to add this to my butter. And I'm going to whisk this in. But I want to take it off my heat because I didn't want it to scorch. And you're trying to get some of the clumps out. Because you don't want big clumps in your bechamel sauce. This sauce is what takes place of your ricotta, okay? Now, all right, Mason. Now we're gonna whisk that for about 30 seconds till blended. Now we're gonna put the pot back on our burner, okay? And we're gonna put our heat on low. And I'm gonna whisk 1 cup of milk at a time until it's combined, okay? And you're gonna add ultimately 3.5 cups of milk to this. But I'm gonna put this on, and I'm gonna get my milk. I've measured out 3.5 cups of milk, and I'm gonna add about a cup of it. And I'm gonna whisk it. We actually got some rain here today in Tennessee. I'm happy. We haven't had rain in about 2 weeks, maybe, week and a half. Everything was starting to get really hot and nasty here. And I've been having to water my flowers every day with my hose. Now I'm going to keep adding my milk. Add about another cup. Whisk it around with the flour butter mixture. And I'm going to put the rest of it. Well, I just knocked everything off the counter. All right. Now let me whisk this around. Now we're going to let this cook for just a second. Yo, cilantro. I just dropped a empty tomato paste can on my foot cilantro and got tomato paste on my flip flop. Okay. Now what we're trying to do is get our sauce to thicken up a little bit here with the flour in it. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit because I'm trying to get this to thicken. We're going to let this, we're going to try to work on this for about 6 or 7 minutes is usually what it takes. All right, let me stir this a little bit. Stir my sauce over here, my meat sauce. Smells delicious. Now I'm put my lid back on. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's start thickening. All right, let me get our prep area ready over here. Because we are going to start assembling in just a second. Oh, you can cilantro? That's good because it smells good in here too. I'm glad you can smell it though. Let's see here. Put this up. I've really got to find a cordless mic. I'm tired of having this cord. I want to be free in my kitchen to have a wireless mic so I can walk around and be able to talk to you guys freely too. Let me get okay. All right, let's check this. I'm gonna whisk this a little bit. It's bubbling. We don't want it to stick. And if it doesn't thicken up or start thickening up, you can add a little bit of flour if you need to. It's still a little bit watery. I turned the heat up a little. So I'm going to give it an opportunity to try to thicken a little bit. If it doesn't soon, I'm going to add just a little bit of flour. Just think, Brian, if you had smell-o-vision, you could smell the lasagna while you're in the hospital. Now you can make your lasagna in a 13 by 9 casserole dish that you have at home. That is fine, but it is messy to clean up, okay? So let me show you guys. I just get a pan like you would cook and take like something disposable to someone's house. I just like using this sometimes because it's kind of nice because then you can just throw the darn pan away and you don't have to clean up the mess. Here, let me see if I can move my camera down a little bit where y'all can see better when I assemble. There we go. I know I wish they did have it but I don't know, Frank. Sometimes I don't think I want it because I do not want to smell certain things. Look, I got me some hot mat things, y'all. I like the Pioneer Woman. Y'all are always talking about my bowls. Well, she has these trivets that you can set your hot stuff on, and I got some of those this week. All right. So let's see here. So my bechamel sauce isn't thickening enough, so I just added probably like 2 tablespoons of flour in here, y'all. And I'm gonna mix that in to see if I can get it to thicken a little bit. Hey, Callie! How's it going, love? Come on, get to thickening. I just turned the heat up a little more on this. I'm trying to get this to start thickening. And once it does, we'll be able to assemble. And you guys can see the assembly. Frank, are you land or world? I've never been to land, Frank. Have you been to Disneyland, Frank? I've never been to Disneyland. Oh, that's so cool, Frank. You've been to a lot of places, Frank. That's cool. I've been to World several times. Went on my honeymoon there too. I like World because I agree with Callie though. It's really good for vacations. Land, I've that's what I've heard is the nostalgia of land is what's the cool part. I mean, I've never been, but I know people that have, and they said it's really not that awesome for a vacation, but they said the nostalgia of it is just so cool. That's why I think in Disney in Magic Kingdom, I think I love the Carousel of Progress. Like that's one of my favorite things there because it's so nostalgic. To me, I'm sitting back in time when I sat in there. Yeah, it's old and outdated, but it's just something about it that makes my heart happy when I'm in there because I know they moved that from Land to World when Disney World opened, and I know that ride Walt Disney himself had his hands on and he created that ride. And it's just something about it that just feels so nostalgic to me. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow. I know that whole song, Callie, but I don't want to sing it for copyright reasons probably, but Callie, I know that song and I don't know if that's sad or not, but I know that song. And I kind of look like a dork when we ride it because I sit there and sing it when we move to each section. And then when we're getting off the ride, the rest of the day, I'm singing, It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. Oh my gosh, People Mover. I love that too, Callie. Yes, yes, yes. Number two for me. Yes, I agree. The only thing that terrifies me is going up that straight up flat escalator to get up there. I remember when I took Puff and Cilantro's like full of energy, and he's trying to run up, and his dad's like, hold on, hold on, hold on. And Puff's a baby, so he's on my hip, and I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I'm going to drop him, I'm going to drop him, because that thing is straight up. I don't know why that gave me anxiety so bad. I think it was because all the other kids were being wild and out of control. And Callie, I was like, okay, one of these kids is going to knock me over. And I have Puff on my hip. He's like one. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go rolling straight down this with my kid. And this mama ain't going to be happy. I think that's probably what caused my anxiety. Hey, Heather. What's up, friend? How's it going? Okay, I feel that this is thickening a hair. We're getting there. We're almost there. Yes, Frank. Exactly, Frank. I 100% agree with you. Like, I have watched so many documentaries on Walt and just all kinds of stuff that they've done. And I have to 100% agree with you because that's what I liked about him. That's the whole reason he invented Disneyland. If you watch the little thing, they had a short thing on it at Disney World too, but that's why he invented Disneyland because when him and his family was there, he wanted like a park and he found that there wasn't accessible and he made something that all families could go to and have fun and everybody could be a kid and it was just so cool the whole story of why he created it and I think now how sad it is and what Disney's done to it now and I think if Walt was here what would he think? I constantly think that a lot. Oh my gosh, Heather, that's the worst feeling ever. I can't stand it when that happens. That's terrible feeling. Hope you're feeling better today, though, Heather. Bless your heart. I'm glad you're feeling better, honey, though. If you're up and moving, I hope you're feeling better anyway. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of pepper and salt to this. We're finishing up our bechamel sauce, everyone. That's just coming in. So I'm just going to put a little bit of salt in that and a little bit of pepper. Oh my goodness, Heather. Well, you must feel bad if you called off work. I think he's lurking now, Heather, but Brian was in here too. I don't know if he's still in here. He's in rehab now. Discord. He talked to me in Discord message, but he was in here a minute ago, chatting for a minute. Okay, now I'm going to take this off, and we're going to move this over to our table over here. Good, 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 Heather. So I'm going to take a cup, a measuring cup, and we have some shredded Parmesan and some shredded mozzarella. We're going to add about a half a cup of each, okay? So I'm going to take about a half a cup. I got my measuring cup here. of shredded Parmesan. Okay, and I'm going to dump that in my bechamel sauce. And then I'm going to take a half a cup of shredded mozzarella and we're going to dump that in. Mozzarella smells weird to me. I've always thought that. There we go. Now let me take my whisk and we're going to whisk this together a little bit. All right, Mason, you took a quick shower. Glad you brushed your teeth. We don't need any rotty teeth. Now you just whisk this in, this cheese, okay? So we've put the Parmesan and the mozzarella, and now we have our bechamel sauce, or a lot of people call it white sauce. But the official name is bechamel, or bechamel, as people say. And this is taking place of our ricotta. I'm doing this because a lot of people can't eat ricotta, and I'm kind of showing an alternative way to do this, okay? Now, my meat sauce is over here, our whole meat sauce we made, with all our seasonings. And I'm going to take it off the stove here. I burn myself over here. Set that down. Okay. Now, let me take this out. Now, let me pull my meat sauce over here. So we have our meat sauce in our big skillet. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of water to this meat sauce, okay? Because we're using the pre-done lasagna noodles. And we just want to make sure we have enough moisture. So let me stir this in. You only add the water if you're doing the pre-ready lasagna, which I highly recommend. Okay, so we have our meat sauce and we have our bechamel sauce, and now we're going to assemble, okay? Here comes the fun part. Our oven is preheated 350. Now we're going to spoon a cup of the meat sauce on the base of this bacon dish. And like I said, I just wanted to use a throwaway one because I honestly don't want to scrub a dish for lasagna, but you don't have to, okay? And then we're going to cover about a cup of the meat sauce with the lasagna sheets, okay? So let me take this over here. Let me scoop out about a cup of meat sauce. And we're just going to spread this in our pan, okay? We just want a wet base down here because we don't want our noodles to stick. Okay, and we're just going to take our lasagna sheets and we're going to layer them, okay, over the top of the meat sauce. So now let me take our oven ready lasagna sheets and let's see. Wonder if I can get them this away in this pan. Yes. So I'm going to put them long ways like this. Okay. And I'm going to take a sheet here and see if I can break it in half. I just breaked it long ways, okay? So I can cover up the edge here. And I have my sheet of noodles down. Now I'm going to uh, cover it with like 2 cups of meat sauce. Okay, just one enough to cover the pasta is all. Okay, so see if I can do this without dripping too much. I have a ladle I use, so just ladling some of my meat salt on, and I'm just kind of spreading it out over the noodles here. My pan is actually a little bigger than normal. I usually have a smaller pan. The store didn't have any. Okay, so I have these covered. Just a thin layer. You can see, you can kind of see some of the noodles through. That's fine. And now I'm going to take about a cup of the white sauce, okay? And and I'm going to put the white sauce on top and then some mozzarella cheese. Okay? So let me see. Let me get a different ladle here. Let's ladle out some of our white sauce here, or our bechamel sauce. This is about a cup, but I'm going to try to drizzle it over the top of this. And as you can see, it's a little bit thicker. And like I said, this is taking place of your ricotta, okay? Let me put a little more. So let me get a spatula here. And I want to cover this. I'm just going to kind of just whip it around here, okay? And now I'm going to take mozzarella cheese. I have some shredded mozzarella. We're going to put that on here. Now, guys, if you've not joined the Discord, feel free to join our Discord. I do put recipes in our recipe channel we have. And people put pictures of food dishes and share items in there. We also have a YouTube channel. And it has our VODs we upload in there. And once a week, we're dropping a video I pre-record too. Last week, we dropped ginger snaps. I don't know if cilantro's dropped the video for this week. We're going to do it on different days, but there'll be a video dropping this week too of something I pre-recorded. So make sure you check out our YouTube channel. Oh, yeah. Cilantro. Yes, I forgot about that. Okay, now we're going to just repeat layers, okay? So we did a little bit of meat sauce on the bottom, but you're ultimately going lasagna sheet, meat sauce, bechamel sauce, mozzarella. So now let's put some more lasagna noodles here. Cilantro, have you done our video drop for this week, or are you going to be doing that coming up? I was just letting people know about that. Last week we did ginger snap cookies as I recorded one. So make sure you check that out if you haven't. Whoops. My noodle didn't break right. Shoot. Oh well. It'll still eat the same. All right, now I'm going to put some meat sauce. Oh, okay. I just didn't know if this week's dropped yet, Cilantro. Thanks for letting me know. Cilantro does our videos for our YouTube channel. Okay. Now, some bechamel sauce. Sometimes I make enough to make 2 pans of this. And if I make 2 pans of lasagna, I cook 1 pan and then we put the other pan in the freezer. You just put a cover on it and freeze it. And then when you want to have dinner, all you have to do is just get it out and make your lasagna, pop it in the oven. You don't have to cook it or anything. It's nice to have it put back if you need it. And mozzarella cheese. Yes, it does freeze well. My mom used to freeze it a lot, Frank. It was really cool. When she was working or something or busy, us girls would just pop a pan in and help mom out too. Okay. And then this will be our last layer up, okay? And it usually uses the whole box. This is a 9-ounce box, these noodles are. So you pretty much use just the whole box. You may have like one sheet left, which is fine. But these are pre-cooked noodles, you guys. They're oven ready and they soften up when they cook. They're awesome. Okay, now whatever's left of the meat sauce is just going to go on here, okay? Because this is our last layer up. We don't have enough to do it again. So everything left just goes on, no matter how much it is. Now you may have more bechamel sauce left and you can just pour it out. Now we're going to put our sauce on here. I think it's actually going to use all our sauce. That is awesome. I like that. Huh! My hot pan thing stuck to the bottom. I'm getting that all the corners there. Now we end it with a nice big old thing of mozzarella cheese here. Yep, that's how he usually starts, King. Usually starts with solos every night. Then he goes to adding the cue. All right. So we're going to end this with our mozzarella. Make sure I get it kind of nice and covered. And I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of our shredded parmesan on the top. Okay. Yes, Salt, come on, we have room for somebody else at the table. But Hellbound's waiting first, Salt, okay? Because Hellbound's still waiting for Jeffro, the Uber Eats guy, to deliver his food, but Jeffro just keeps eating it before it gets to Hellbound, so we have a problem there. Yes, Hellbound, we need to fire the driver. Although, doesn't your bear eat all the food, though, Salt? All right, and now finally, let's see here. I think I need to open this. Mm. I'm going to take my basil, and it just has like a sprinkling opening, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of additional basil on the top. Okay, now our oven is preheated to 350, and we're going to stick this in our oven, okay? And we're going to bake this for 25 minutes until it's golden and bubbly, okay? And then when you get it out, you're supposed to let it set for just a few before you actually cut it into slices. So let me open my oven here. Yes, that's my Christmas cookie sheet. I never saw that it worked, but what you're supposed to do apparently is you're supposed to take sugar cookies and press them on this like a just roll out sugar cookie dough, and it's supposed to make an impression on it. Yeah, I never did that. Okay, so let me show you guys what we do with lasagna or spaghetti or something like that. It is really good. Is I like getting like some fresh bread. This is just some like a loaf of bread I got. And let's open this up. And we're going to make us some Italian bread to go with our lasagna for when it comes out. Okay. We're going to take our serrated knife and we're just going to safely just cut this down middle. I'm going to try to do it about halfway here. Watch your hand. Do not cut into your hand. Okay. Now I'll cut my bread like this. Okay. Now I'm going to take my butter and I'm going to butter this up really nicely. All the way down the bread. And I'm just going to keep on buttering. All right, I got that one buttered up. Now let's do this one. Now, I have buttered up my bread, and I'm going to take some garlic powder. And we're going to sprinkle the sprinkle side open. Just use your sprinkle side. And we're going to sprinkle garlic powder all over this. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit of basil. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit of basil on this. There you go. And we're going to take some shredded parmesan. Some of our shredded parmesan. And not much, just a little. We're going to sprinkle a little bit on here, okay? Oh no, laggy internet. Here we go, Salt. His mouse wheel's messed up again. Frank, do you like Battleship, the game Battleship? It's a two-player game, I know, but I never can get anybody to play with me. I gifted it to Cilantro and Puff. Puff plays with me every now and then. If you get Steam, I'm going to gift it to you, Frank, because I want you to play with me if you like it. And we can get in Discord and talk. It's got quite a bit of garlic on it. I love garlic, Frank, though. Some people don't like too much garlic. Yes, and you know what's funny, Salt? People think you can have your knife too sharp. Jeffro sharpens knives. He has a sharpening system in our shop. People think you can get them too sharp, but actually Jeffro's always like, nope, the sharper the better, because if you can cut or slice something easier, you're less likely to get cut. So that's what he tries to do with my knives in the kitchen, is keep them sharp. Yes, I have to be easy, but it's so much safer. Oh my gosh, I agree. I like a lot of garlic. Yes, Frank. You're gonna have to download Steam because I want to gift you the games Battleship and Steam so we can play together because I love it. You know I do. And I like playing with somebody besides this stupid computer. So you'll have to be my Battleship buddy. Okay, guys. So I made homemade Italian bread is what I just did. So that's what it looks like. And once my lasagna comes out, I'll just throw this in the oven and let this toast and melt all this. And then I'll slice it up in slices and we'll have fresh Italian bread to go with our lasagna. And then This lasagna will come out in just a little while. It's got like 17 minutes left though. And ultimately what you're doing with the lasagna at this point, you've made your sauces and they're all pre-cooked. The only thing that's not cooked, like softened or fully cooked is your noodles. So you're putting it all together to simmer the taste and cook, and your noodles are going to cook while they're in there. Um, and then your cheeses are melting. So that's why it doesn't have to cook as long as as like lasagna used to. If you use different noodles or didn't cook some of your sauces ahead of time. So that's a cool thing. Salt, are you still in here or are you playing with Grand? Or did your internet poop its pants and you're not in here now? He's playing. Okay, okay, cool. I'll do it another time. He wanted to see this picture I had, and I was going to go get it and show it to the camera, but I'll do it Saturday if he's in here. It was Jeffro used to do photography, and it was a print Jeffro did, and he was like, "Oh, I'd like to see that," and I was going to show it to him. It's no big deal. I'll just do it another day. All right, guys. So that's it. Lasagna has to cook. It's just going to melt the cheese. I'll put a picture in Discord of what it looks like fully cooked, but it's just melted cheese basically. You kind of saw what it's going to look like, and then you cut it into pieces. And then I'm going to throw in the bread, and there you go, everyone. You have some Italian lasagna and bread. It's a wonderful dish. So, anyways, thank you guys for hanging with me. Don't forget to go follow our YouTube and Discord. Let's see. I'm going to try to raid Grand. I appreciate you guys coming in here.